Hi, this is Dave back again to do a video of what I carry in my winter day pack. You'll see that I've got in this case, a 70-liter pack. I have carried smaller packs. For the most part, I could still carry a smaller pack, but I like this larger one because it leaves me lots of space to put extra stuff in it that I've taken off. It also keeps my back warmer because there's more pack behind me. You see I have a insulated carrier on my chest. This allows me to have a water bottle that's been full of boiling water that I can have on my person so I can get a drink of water frequently. I don't like using bladders because the bladder hoses will freeze, and no need to futz around with that. You'll see that I have a Garmin InReach device that I've started using. I do plan ahead on the trips, and I also have a backup person that I report to so he knows when I'm going to be safely out of the woods. I send him a link of where I am at on my hike and let him know when I'm safely done. And this has satellite communication in case I get in trouble. I don't rely on AllTrails or things like that. When I show you the pack, you'll see that I have a paper map in there. But I do plan out routes with AllTrails and things of that nature. So let me take off some stuff here. Now I haven't attached anything to the outside of the pack other than a pad. This pad is a full-length pad, so in case somebody gets hurt, there's a full-length pad for that person to lay on. The blue pad is a shorty pad that I use for myself to sit on to keep insulated from the ground. I have some things that I would normally strap on the outside of the pack depending on the plan of the trip and the lay of what the weather says the conditions are going to be. Typically I'm wearing snowshoes. The snowshoes that I like are good for brushy conditions. Has a televator in the back that I can pull up to make it easier going up steep inclines. Has lots of teeth on it for good gripping on icy conditions. I do carry bungee cords with me so I can strap them on the outside of the pack when it's time to switch to microspikes or crampons. I do have microspikes. I do have crampons. The crampons are in a bag, and I can stick this bag inside the pack or strap it on the outside. I typically carry one trekking pole, and depending on the conditions, I will carry the ice axe as well. Typically, I carry the ice axe. Ice axes are good for steep, icy spots where you need an extra handhold, and that's the primary reason I would carry it on a hike in the Catskills, for example. I use only one trekking pole typically. I have this stored behind my back where I can pull it out. I usually do one trekking pole so that I have one hand free to either stick in my pocket to keep warm, and then I keep changing hands, or I will have a bag of food in one hand. Just like I have water handy, I'll have a bag of food in my jacket so that I don't have to take my pack off to eat. You want to drink small amounts continuously, eat small amounts continuously. I also have a bunch of extra food in my pack. I'm going to take off the pads. There's the shorty pad, the full-length pad. We'll take the inside of the pack out first. I have a bag of first aid stuff. My first aid stuff is a little larger than most people because I typically am leading groups. I'm typically dealing with people with hot spots, maybe blisters if we don't catch them soon enough. If they sprain an ankle, I've got things to take care of it, or if they cut themselves and they're bleeding, I've got things to deal with that. Those are the typical things that happen on the trips that I lead, and hardly any of that. This bag contains stuff that are extras. Most of the time I'll never use it, but I bring it anyways. I've got a spare pair of socks in case I step in a stream and get my feet soaking wet. This will give me something fresh to wear. These are the insulated liners for those Gore-Tex shells that I showed you before. This is a spare balaclava in case somebody's balaclava blows away. That has happened before. I have a spare balaclava for myself and a spare to give away to somebody. I have goggles in case it gets so windy that I need eye protection. All in one bag so I can pull it out and things aren't going to be flopping around somewhere. I carry an emergency gear of all my puffy clothes that I would be wearing if I was standing around in a campsite. I'm not backpacking on this hike, but sometimes people get hurt and you have to stand around for hours. You want to be able to protect yourself. So I would really recommend carrying a little extra stuff to stay warm. I have a full-size down jacket, and I also have puffy pants. These are Primaloft with side zips. The zippers are such that I can put these on with my boots on. I don't have to take, I have put them on and off with crampons on, but if you have snowshoes on, you'll have to take those off to do it. I carry an 8-person emergency shelter. This is basically a huge stuff sack big enough for 8 people to get inside. You open it up, throw your packs down inside, put your sit pads on top of that, and 4 people can sit side by side, face to face with another group of 4. Close up the ends like you would draw a stuff sack closed, and that'll raise the temperature inside to keep you protected if somebody gets hurt and you need to spend some time out in the open where it's windy and you need to get protection from that. I'll sometimes share this item with the rest of the group, so I'm not carrying all the group gear typically. I carry 2.5 liters of water, 2 liters in my pack. I've only got one of them here at the moment, and that's how I make sure that I'm well hydrated. Staying well hydrated helps you keep warmer. I have a pack cover to keep my pack dry. It sometimes rains, but sometimes it also drips all over you from snow melting off the trees. In the top of my pack, I have those monster mitts that I talked about before, the shells, so that they're accessible. I can't reach them with the pack on, but somebody else in the group can unzip it, grab them for me, and I don't have to stop and take my pack off if my hands get wet and then get cold. I have a face mask to go along with the goggles that I had further in the pack. I have a spare pair of mittens that I never wear, but I've got them so that I can give them away to somebody else in the group. I have toilet paper in a Ziploc bag with a spare Ziploc bag to put the dirty toilet paper in. You always want to carry out all the toilet paper with you. Use an outhouse if it's available, but if an outhouse isn't available, carry it out with you. And I typically will carry it out even if I have an outhouse available. I have a spare balaclava also in the top of the pack for me to use. Sunglasses in case I get glare on the snow. My glasses will give me some sunglass protection, but not enough sometimes. Spare liner gloves. I have a banner for the Appalachian Mountain Club, and I'll take a group photo. I'll take a group photo with this banner just to show off, hey, we did this hike, it was great, when I post photos. Have a little bit more food in the top of the pack. I have a Catskills Park map. I have a battery backup pack for my cell phone and for my Garmin device. I have a scooper for digging a hole for poop. Typically in the wintertime, the ground will be frozen and there'll be 3 or 4 feet of snow on top, so I really could leave that home in the winter, but it doesn't weigh anything. My emergency kit of everything else, a lot of the 10 essentials, I've got 2 headlamps in case one headlamp, I need to give away a headlamp to somebody. I have some tenacious tape in case somebody needs something repaired. I got matches. I have a whistle, I have a compass. Sometimes I'll wear that as use the lanyard around my neck. Another headlamp. A knife, just odds and ends. And let's see. Here's the other liter of water that I didn't take out. And that is pretty much what I carry in my winter day pack. I'll adjust things a little bit. Sometimes I won't bring the crampons depending on the conditions. Sometimes I'll bring a little bit of extra stuff like spare long johns. If we've got a bunch of stream crossings to do and there's a possibility I might fall in, I'll bring some extra long johns. They don't take up much space, they don't weigh much, but this is what I generally do on a normal winter day hike. Thank you for watching.